People tell me I got that OLD. OLD on A B G. What up there,
Oh,
guess?
you and me both. I'm gonna ankle ailment. I would be out of today's game. I can barely walk.
Oh no. No bueno, my friend.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna share this real quick to spare me 1 second. All right, but we're gonna be jumping into the games. I'm sorry, I lied. Jumping into your questions from the group first, and then we will. This is not working. I got to try somewhere else. All right. Remember, guys, like us Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Patreon. Always look for those hashtags. We are Fantasy Football's inside scoop from outside the box. We got a t-shirt contest going on. Go check it out. Still time to be able to get in. If I'm not mistaken, is that correct, Guess?
Yeah, we have 5 people that have done it so far. I made a post in the league, like all 3 of this week's game breakdown videos. PM us who the guesstimator is, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that's all you got to do to get on the list. As soon as we get 10 people, clock will start. 24 hours later, we'll run the random. We got 5 so far.
All right. Remember, guys, bye weeks, Detroit Lions, Houston Texans, Las Vegas Raiders, and the Tennessee Titans. Let me get some of these questions going here. I'll start with posting a few, and then we will go from there and bring them up.
So I had mentioned a couple days ago when it all went down, when he was fighting with the coaches, that Cam Akers probably get traded. That news came out today that they're fielding offers. If you're a Cam Akers owner, hold out. These could wind up somewhere where they could use them.
See what happens, man. I'm a Cam Akers owner in, I think, 2 leagues, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see what happens. All right, let's go with the first one here. Josh, start 3, Pittman versus Jacksonville, Amari Cooper versus New England, Mike Evans versus Pittsburgh, or Waddle versus Minnesota.
I feel like the Colts Jacksonville game is going to be high scoring. I mean, at least into the mid-20s for both of them. So I'm going to go with Pittman. I'm going to go with Evans for sure. I think that he'll get a touchdown early. I really like Godwin in that game as well. And I don't like it, but I'll go Waddle because I think they're playing from behind. And we'll say that Amari disappears this week.
All right, another Waddle question here. Josue, stick with Waddle as my wide receiver 2 or go with Deontay Johnson?
I'll go with Deontay. Volume play. They should be playing catch up most of the game. I know it's against the Bucs defense, but I'm going to go with Deontay.
All right. I'm going to go with Deontay as well on that. Chris R with the question, would you rather have Dubs or Alec Pierce?
Probably Pierce. He's entrenched as the number 2. Dubs is going back and forth with Cobbs over there. And they seemingly don't want to pass the ball a ton. So I'll go with Pierce.
They're going to have to move the ball somehow. I mean, Deion Jackson, Lindsey's, they're starting running backs. So you would hope that Mr. Mud, stuck in the mud, is not going to have to do something to throw the ball to get these guys going. So have some type of a chance. Chris R, if Keenan Allen plays, start over Lockett. I believe Keenan Allen is out.
I'd play Lockett either way because I wouldn't want to risk it with Keenan Allen.
I agree. That makes a lot of sense, bud. Sorry. I don't know. I'm a little off this morning. It was a late night, to be honest with you.
And I'm on a ton of pain meds for me.
We're batting 1,000 here, folks. All right. Josue with another one here. Sanders or Walker half-point PPR? Not a bad question.
Sanders gives you what, that Monday night magic or Sunday night magic. The The thing with Walker is interesting because if Arizona scores at will and Seattle falls behind, you're going to see a lot more DJ Dallas for the pass catching role. I'd probably stick with Sanders.
All right. All right, Matt P with the question, is Henderson a starter this week? I don't want to play both Pickens and Deontay this week, so any suggestions? His starters are Burrow, Eckler, Etienne, Hill, Deontay, Kelsey, and Pickens. His bench is Dillon, Henderson, Algier, Pierce, and Schultz.
Is Henderson a starter? I mean, they did elevate the one rookie. They got Malcolm Brown, who I think will steal the goal line stuff today. It's Carolina, though. I mean, I would stick with Eckler and Etienne. So I wouldn't even. I know Pickens is on your flex spot, right? Or is he their?
He's the flex spot,
He's
Pickens.
the flex, yeah, because he's below Kelsey. I really like Dillon today too, but stick with Eckler and Etienne. I think you got the right team in there. I would keep Deontay Pickens. It's pure volume. I mean, I like Pierce, but it's pure volume. They're going to be playing from behind. They're going to have to throw the ball. I'm fine with both of them in there.
All right, let's go on to the next one here. Derek with the question. We like Deion Jackson tomorrow over Algier.
I'm playing him over Algier.
I would play him over Algier as well. I just think volume is going to be there for him. I mean, Lindsey's going to get some love too, but
I'm playing him over Algier in 3 leagues. So,
all right, Michael C with the question here. Better defense to stream this week. Packers against the Jets, Jags against the Colts, who they shut out a few weeks ago, and with Taylor out, or Browns against the Pats.
I want to say Browns. I think they're probably a little safer, but I think I'd go with Packers. At home, maybe force Wilson into a couple of mistakes. I mean, they might end up giving up more points, but the turnovers could be the difference. I'd probably go with the Packers, but the Browns are close. I'm not playing the Jags. I think that game's going to be – it's one of the lower totals of the week, and both teams pooped last week. And this was mentioned in the game breakdowns, I just think that the offenses show up in this one for the Jags and the Colts.
All right. Alan with a question here. Rondell Moore versus Seattle or Duvernay versus the Giants?
I like Duvernay. It'll be interesting to see if Prochet, I was calling him Proch, but I think Prochet is correct now. Gets a little more burn. It was his first game of the year last week. He was a preseason stud. I believe came over from, I want to say, Seattle. Been in the league a couple years. But I'm going to go with Rondale Moore. He was highly involved last week. It's a Seattle defense. Giants have been surprisingly good on defense. So I'm going to go with Rondale Moore. They use him out of the backfield. I know they used Duvernay as well out of the backfield last week. He looked really good. And then he just sort of disappeared and his stat line wasn't great. So stick with Rondale.
All right. Alan with another one here. A.J. Dillon or Michael Carter going against each other today?
Dillon for me. I know Carter's getting the goal line stuff, but so's Dillon.
Yeah, I think Dillon's going to have a good game. Again, on those recorded shows, guys, we talked about Dillon probably again, he's been kind of underwhelming to a certain degree. This is a get-right game for him. I know it's my Jets, but their defense is okay. I just think Dillon is just a heavy run. So I would go with Dillon too. All right, Alan with another one here. 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. Alex Pierce, Kenneth Walker, Deion Jackson, or Pickens.
Tough. A lot of guys in games where I think that they'll get a ton of volume. I'm going to go with Pickens. He's just, short slightly over Pierce. And I like Deion today, but you know what? I might just play both wide receivers. Actually.
From a volume standpoint, that makes sense. I can see that. All right.
The 2 rookie wide receivers.
All right, I think I asked this one already.
Yeah.
I'm gonna copy 2 of them. Darren, someone offered me Keenan Allen for Kareem Hunt, PPR league. Would you take that?
I would not.
All right. Alan with another one here. Yay or nay, trade Pierce for JT. Barkley, Eckler, Chubbs are his current running backs. The Taylor owner is down to Dobbins and Pollard. What do you think for the rest of the season?
I don't know. I think Melfi might have commented on this and I saw it. Like, you got Barkley, Eckler, Chubb. They're going to be your guys. I would just keep Pierce. He's already had his bye week. So you've got to fill in for when Barkley, Eckler, and Chubb go on by. I mean, could Taylor end up outscoring him? Sure. But that bye week and having it already happen is valuable. Let that guy rot with Taylor. Taylor should be back next week. He'll probably return to form. I shouldn't say rot, but I would just keep it as is. You get Jonathan Taylor, and then if he starts cooking, then you're dealing with, which one out of 4 do you sit, and you set yourself up. I would just leave those 3 in my lineup if you can with a flex, and then just put Pearson when they each have buys.
I like that. I agree. All right, Jeremy, with one here. Really strong over Kelly.
We'll see. It'd be interesting because, like I said, Stevenson's not going to get 100%. I know he dominated last week, so Pierre Strong could be doing something. But Josh Kelly, I just get a feeling that, it could be Sony Michel that does more in the backup role this week. I might go with Strong. They like to use 2 running backs. The Browns have a good pass rush. They don't really stop the run too well, but their rush defense statistics are a little skewed. And Pierre Strong's a nice pass catcher, and I could definitely see him spelling Stevenson, or maybe even playing at the same time like they do with Harris. So I'm going to go with Pierre Strong.
And Harris on the wrong side of questionable. They said he'll be surprised if he makes it onto the field.
Yeah, he's not good for it.
All right, Jeremy with another one here. So Irv Smith with more than 1 touchdown. Oh, we see somebody's been watching the videos. Worth a start over Kittle. I can flex him or Waddle or Boyd. Kupp and Metcalf are his current wide receivers.
I do think, that was my call. That was my bold game day prediction. Irv Smith, 2 TDs. But I also said that I think Kittle, this is a Kittle week. So I'm going to just stick with Kittle.
Yeah, I would go with Kittle as well.
And, Waddle's tough, but he's going to be volume today, him and Tyreek. I don't know if the quarterback's going to be able to get to him. I think Bridgewater is going to – he's going to be the backup.
The backup, yes. Tyler Thompson is the starter.
Bridgewater doesn't help Waddle anyways. So I think just keep it as is. Keep Kittle in.
Yeah. And if you had to flex, I would say Boyd would probably be my option just because T. Higgins is supposedly going to play, but banged up, maybe not trying to push it as much over Waddle. All right, Jeremy with another one here. Just got to say, not so fired up to fire up Stevenson, but fired up to start Walker. And an ABG, watch out. Taysom Hill, either 50 points or a big fat Gesicki 0.
Yeah, that's what you got with Taysom Hill. Take a shot. They said that Andy Dalton, he's going to be the starter, and he's got a chance to be the starter the rest of the year.
That's interesting, man.
Those news that came out today. So, Jameis real banged up, and he hasn't been good. He's never been good. He had 1 or 2 good games, last year, 2 years ago, whenever it was before he got hurt. He's just, I don't know. But it's not that Andy Dalton's a world beater either. You know what? If your gut tells you to play Walker over Stevenson, then go for it. But Stevenson should be able to do very well today.
All right, Spencer with the question here. Any changes, fams? I also have New England defense in over Green Bay. Opinions are welcome. Thanks. Starters: Cousin, Hollywood, AJ Brown, Sutton, Singletary, Najee, Njoku, Eno, Gordon, and Hurts. Bench is Garrett Wilson, Dylan, Mariota, Jimmy G, Warren, Pitts, and Hurst.
I would probably myself personally play Dylan over Gordon, but the rest of it seems about right.
Yeah. And if you want to play Gordon, I wouldn't. I mean, I think we mentioned that Najee is going to be volume. We were hoping for a big Najee week. We think that he could bust through. I wouldn't. I would play Dylan if you're having the Gordon. Still play Gordon and to get the Monday night and play Dylan over Najee.
Don't hate it either.
Yeah, that's a tough one. All right, Tim with a question here. So, guy I'm playing has to get a tight end and a running back. I went to the waivers and grabbed the Colts running back that replaced Jonathan Taylor and Hines. I have no intention of playing him as my lineup is set in stone. Is that a dick move? I like to play fair, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do to win, and it's not cheating, right? LOL.
Nope, not at all.
It's strategy, brother. I remember, guys, always like, comment, and share. Those are the questions from the group. Now we will go to the live comments and questions here. Wan'Dale Robinson introduces himself to the league this week. I know you mentioned in the show, but let's talk about that again.
Yeah, I mean, he introduced week 1, and then he took a quick exit after like a play. Going against Baltimore, you beat their secondary for sure. They're going to need him, and I'm excited to see him today, and hopefully he can play the full game. I'm sure Daniel Jones feels the same way. We loved Mr. Wandale in the preseason. It just hasn't happened because he hasn't been on the field, so I like it. I wouldn't play him this week. It's a great matchup. If he played last week and got his feet wet, I would be playing him this week, but I want to see him get through a game and survive.
All right. Steve Malfiel, her mini can't cover anyone. I mean, it's such an interesting situation. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game than people are thinking with Minnesota, and Miami could put up points. I mean, Mostert's banged up, but he's been running okay. Hill and Waddle are both going to go. It's a lot of pressure on Skylar Thompson, but the defense for Minnesota isn't that great anyways.
I know a couple people in that picture.
Oh, do you? Are you in that picture?
I am in that picture.
Oh, lovely. All right, let me find the next comments here.
Marty.
Darrell Henderson or Joe Mixon? Leaning Mixon.
Yeah, let's stick with Mixon.
All right. Due to bye weeks injuries, I picked up both Jackson and Lindsey and starting them both. Will they both be effective, or is that a bad move to play both of them?
I'm not sure who you would play over Lindsey, but I'd be looking to possibly play somebody over Lindsey. But we'll see. I mean, he could do a one good game last week, was shaking the rust off, possibly, but he's not somebody that I would continue to play season long, and neither are you. It's bye weeks and injuries. But if you have anybody else, go for it. And if you don't, it's worth rolling the dice. I think that game's going to be relatively high scoring.
All right. Michael with another one here. Heard you say that you think Cooper disappears this week. Should I start ETN over him in the flex?
Yeah, Cooper, I mean, I've been using this nickname, the Great Magician, for a few weeks now. He's done it his whole career. He strung together 2 good ones in a row, and I could see the Patriots looking at that and trying to occupy him, get the Belichick treatment. And DPJ does something, and Njoku does something. I like ETN. I like his trajectory. I would do that. I would start ETN over him.
Yeah, Indy's offense is either going to be really bad or okay. So I would think that ETN is going to get some volume. The offense for the Jaguars should be on the field. Is New England defensive start over Green Bay?
I like them both. I probably would go with New England if I had to choose between the two. I'm sure Green Bay's likely projected more, um, but I think just you get the Belichick factor, and he just has that edge. And with Brissett, he's just been playing absolutely great. And if there's somebody that can trip that up, coach knows him. He started his career in New England. He's not a different quarterback really than he was then. If anything, he's worse. So I think New England gets the slight edge there.
You took the words right out of my mouth, man. I was going to say Belichick knows him well. He started his career there. But yeah, I would go New England as well. All right, Surya. Hey, what's going on? Make sure you subscribe, bud. Have Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, Eno, and Ken Walker. Who should I start? Eno or Ken? Or you can pick 3 for me to start.
Yeah, I'd go Cook, Jones, and Eno. I like Ken Walker. It's a great matchup. I just think it's crazy because Seattle could hypothetically be winning this game, and then Walker is the better between him and DJ Dallas. I just have a feeling if they get behind, which is possible, and Arizona's offense wakes up, if they get behind by double digits, you're going to see a lot more DJ Dallas than Kenneth Walker owners want. And I just think Eno can play all downs. You have Keontae Ingram there who's going to take some of that load off. But I would go Cook, Jones, and Eno.
All right. Spencer, Green Bay has been pissing me off so bad. Offensive coaching, defense, like, geez, Aaron Rodgers is asked to. Just a statement, LOL. Watching Rodgers consistently throw in the red zone when you have Dillon is damn frustrating.
Yeah, I agree. Play calling's been terrible for them, without a doubt.
I agree as well. Remember, guys, to always like, comment, and share. If you're on YouTube, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you all. I actually have a couple questions that we're going to go through, or if we have a couple seconds here. Tony Pollard or DJ Dallas?
Oh, I go Pollard. You get the Sunday night magic. It was the one big run really for him has been his production this entire season. But if you're a coach, which Mike McCarthy is absolutely terrible, but if you're a coach with half a brain, you say, okay, maybe we should use him more and draw up some more stuff that's similar to that. I mean, isn't that where he pretty much earned his fame last season, his hype last season? We haven't seen it this year. And it's a tough matchup against the Eagles on the road. One would think they could be behind, or they'd have to come up with relatively creative plays, something other than Zeke up the gut, rush, drop back, and throw to CeeDee Lamb. That's why I think Noah Brown, you'll see him a little bit more this week. And I would go with Pollard because of that reason. There's just too many pluses on that side versus Dallas, DJ Dallas. You're hoping a game goes a certain way, and many times when we hope it goes a certain way, it doesn't work out that way. I don't think there's much of a doubt that Dallas Philly will be a little more back and forth, and at worst, Dallas would be behind and have to play catch up.
All right. I'll get to Chad's question. I got a couple more as well. In a rough spot in a guillotine league, have 2 flex spots. Currently have Mostert and Hurts in these spots. Should I switch one out for Rachaad White or Pacheco? Good question.
I really liked Rachaad White this week. I mentioned in the game videos that I was starting him. I was starting him over Algier. I was starting him obviously over Gibson, over Warren. And then I picked up Deion Jackson. And I'm playing Deion Jackson over Rachaad White, but this is another game flow type of thing. You have Mostert and Hurst, who were both hurt and both on the list and both probably going to play. I like Rachaad White in the game flow thing because I think that the Bucs will be ahead and they'll rest Fournette, and he'll get more than his typical 8 touches this week. So I'd like to get him in my lineup. The thing you have going with Mostert, he looked really good last week in a game where that was pretty much their entire offense. But now they've had a week to get Skylar Thompson sort of ready, so they probably look to get the wide receivers a little more involved. The Vikings are going to score points. I don't see the Vikings 100% doing what the Jets did last week and just running the ball and throwing the ball to the running backs. It was a close game versus the Jets until like the fourth quarter. Then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're up by 20 plus. I would probably go Mostert and White. I know Hurst looked good last week. That was kind of his first real look good, and it was against his old team. It could look his way with Higgins not playing, but I also don't think the Saints do too much today. I think you're going to see a lot of Taysom Hill. You're going to see a lot of Kamara. Their best pass catcher is Marquez Callaway. Olave's out, more than likely. They said, Schefter said. No Thomas, who's done nothing anyways. No Landry, who's done nothing anyways. A couple tight ends. Traquan Smith. So I feel like that game could be a little more of a grind. And I like Mixon in that one. So I'm going to go with White and Mostert and leave Hurst on the bench.
Yeah, I would probably do the same thing too there, man. I like Hurst, but with Higgins also coming back, it seems like he is going to play. I think that takes away some target share that we were hoping he was going to have this week. All right, I got another one here for you, guess.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Zeke, DJ Dallas, or Michael Carter in a flex position.
I wish I had looked into more. Typically, I do this, but I did not for whatever reason. So my bad. I wish I'd looked into more Zeke's production against the Eagles over the years, because that sometimes could be a good telltale. I just feel like DJ Dallas is. It could happen. And I don't know if it will happen. Remember, they were using Penny, 80% plus. Yeah. Walker was barely getting in. And Walker's going to jump into that role. The one thing that with Walker is he's probably not as good of a pass catcher as Penny, and definitely not as Dallas. So I just feel like he's a dart throw. And then your other one was who?
Michael Carter.
Michael Carter. You got to hope for the goal line. I think that they look to get the wide receivers more involved this week, regardless of how stupid Green Bay's been on offense. I think that they do throw the ball a little more, and it's a little more of just run, punt type of game. I'm going to go with Zeke. Because I think if they do get close, I think that he'll get the first crack at the goal line carries.
All right. That's who I've had in. I'm glad that we're on the same page.
You get the Sunday Night Magic, which it's a thing.
No, primetime games, man. People tend to step up in primetime games. So, all right, I got another one here for you. This is actually my son Zach's team. He's asking DJ Moore, Rondale Moore, or Duvernay.
I'm going to go with Rondale. I said Rondale over Duvernay before, and DJ Moore. PJ Walker, I think he's got 2 touchdowns and like 11 interceptions or something ridiculous his whole career as a starter. So I think he uses his legs a little more. I'm going to go with Rondale. He had a good game last week, first game back, was highly involved. It's the easiest matchup in the league this week. So I'm just going to go with him, Rondale.
All right. That sounds good to me. Chad says, or Higgins does play. He'd be an option at flex too. I currently have Pierce over him at wide receiver.
I think I'd just keep it. Higgins could do well, and you could be kicking yourself or wanting to kick me after the fact. But, these guys that are so close to I might play, I might not play, they go into the game, one thing goes wrong, they're out of the game. And you took a shot on somebody who was hurt all week, including even the week before, and now you got 0 or a very low number with no chance of getting more because he's just not playing. So I would just leave it. I'd leave it as is, as we said, Mostert and White with recommendations.
All right, John with a question here. Deontay Johnson, Pittman, McKenzie, or Cobb need 2 PPR.
I'm going to go with Deontay and Pittman. McKenzie being back, high scoring game, should be back and forth, but he is going to be splitting that third wide receiver role with Shakir. Dawson Knox is also coming back this week, so that mixes into the things. And then Cobb, he had a real game last week. He's worth a pickup, but he's an old man. We tell them to sit down, and that
You got
could have
that
just
OLD.
yeah, he fits right in with us. And him and Dubs they're playing relatively the same thing. I mean, if you look, it's pretty much Cobb has been 1 week or Dubs been another. The only one that's been really consistent when he's played is Lazard. So I would just go Deontay, pure volume, Pittman in a game that I think is high scoring. I think a lot of people think the Colts and the Jags are going to be low scoring. I could be wrong, but I think they both easily get over 20 points today.
All right. Let's see. Chad, my thoughts too. Thanks as always. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you for watching. With Olave out, would you start Noah Brown or my phone froze. Hold on. Noah Brown
out?
Or
is it 100%?
It's not 100% yet. No, I'm kind of guess I'm jumping ahead here, but they're saying he's more than likely going to sit.
Yeah. Yep.
So I know you're high on Noah Brown, or do we actually go to the waiver wire and add somebody like a Marquez Callaway or Carter or somebody like that?
It's not that I'm high on Noah Brown. I just think that he's
Slayton is the other option.
I think that Noah Brown's going to be involved this week, whereas he really wasn't last week and kind of hasn't been since Gallup came back. Slayton had the big week last week. 2 touchdowns, right? Over 100 yards, I believe.
I know he was targeted a monster amount.
Yeah. Maybe Wandale helps him. It's a very beatable secondary. I wouldn't go as far as using Marquez Callaway. We love him. We like him. But I'd probably go with Slayton. I'd probably go Slayton, Callaway, Brown would be my order.
Slayton, Callaway, Brown. Okay. That's who he was thinking of picking up. We're waiting for Olave to be in or out to be able to put him into the IR. This is Josh's team. He wanted to make sure he got your opinion on that because he doesn't trust me. I picked up Noah Brown, and he says, I think we should pick up Slayton. I'm like, you don't tell me what to do, child.
You know what? He's going with his gut.
He's going with his gut.
Something, so, and I agree. So go ahead, buddy.
I like it, man. Hey, you know what? The fact that he has his own opinion on it too. I mean, he's watching the games enough to understand what the concept is or what we're looking to do here. He's like, Slayton saw the ball a lot last week. I was like, you're starting to sound like me, man. Stop that. Did I mess the questions answered? Yeah, we answered them earlier. We started at 11, bud. I think we went through a bunch of yours that we saw from the group. Do you want to do a quick recap for Alan?
I'm trying to look. What's his first one? Number 9?
Yeah, Rondell Moore or Duvernay. Yep.
Rondell.
A.J. Dillon or Michael Carter.
Dillon.
One flex, Alex Pierce, Kenneth Walker, Deion Jackson, Pickens.
I went Pierce and Pickens.
I agreed with that. Yay or nay, trade Pierce for JT, Barkley, Eckler, Chubbs are my other running backs. The Taylor owner is down to Dobbins and Pollard.
Yeah, I said just hold on to Pierce because he's getting the bye week out of the way, and that way when Barkley goes on bye, you put him in. When Eckler goes on bye, you put him in. Chubb goes on bye, you put him in. You don't got to worry about it. And just keep it. Just keep it.
All right, he's saying Slayton is a beast, good pickup. Yeah, I mean, again, the kid's he's not a Giants fan, but he watches New York football more than anything.
The thing with Slayton is like he never gets a consistent chance, and he never has since he came into the league. He'll come into the game, and anytime they need him, he comes through for them. And then their starters or whatever come back, and they just kick him to the curb. So if they just play this guy and insert him into a starting role and use him consistently, they probably will get consistent results. But I feel like his entire career, it's like, oh, this guy's hurt. Slayton's in. Slayton kills it. And then next week, the guy's back, and it's like everybody plays Slayton, and he's gone. He does nothing. It's been like his whole career with him. So they need him still. Wandale is coming back. But if they're smart, which their head coaches haven't been smart in the past, so we'll give him a pass. This coach, it's a great matchup. Secondary of Baltimore is terrible. You play him. And even though one of your wide receivers is coming back, he's better than Richie James and Sills. So you play him. So I think it's fine because I do think Baltimore can move the ball as well. They're not going to be stupid like Green Bay and call the worst things.
All right, another league. I have Dallas D, but I'm scared to play them against Philly, so I picked up Minnesota D to stream instead, third string QB. Problem is I have Waddle and need him to do well. Other Ds available: Cleveland, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Seattle, Jacksonville, New Orleans. P.S. I'm a Colts fan, so my heart tells me Indy will crush the Jags.
Just stick with the Dallas D. They're going to give up points, but just like Diggs does, the defense will do the same. They'll give up points, but they'll get some turnovers, I think. That'll help you out. Minnesota D is a good one. So if you want to switch, you go to Minnesota D. Their defense is not great at all, but they are going against a rookie third-string quarterback. So if that's what your gut tells you, go ahead. That's fine. You know what? If you don't want to play against Waddle, which I also hate doing, then just stick with Dallas. I think that they'll be more than fine. I don't see that game. Like, I don't know how your defense does scoring, but like I see them getting whatever the average typically is, middle of the road at worst. So like if defenses score anywhere from 0 to 10, and 10 is usually the highest of what defenses will get you, I can see them easily getting you 5, because even if they give up points, they're going to get some turnovers, maybe some sacks. So I just stick with Dallas.
All right. Higgins is officially active, just came across, still not playing him, but some may need to, just passing out on the info. We appreciate that. And Olave is out as well. Just to give a heads up, seems like inactives are coming out. I like the guesstimator. Picked them up in deeper leagues. You want to mention who the guesstimator is there?
Yes. That's smart to do because Connor is always hurt. Darrell Williams, right? He's hurt. Ward seems to always be hurt. He looked really good in the preseason. It's Keontae Ingram, rookie running back for the Cardinals. Typically, I don't like to give it away in the guesstimator because we want some traffic on those videos, but I'll give it to you since you asked nicely. But yeah, I think that he's worth a pickup because Eno Benjamin, I'm not sure, is a workhorse back. And if Connor stays hurt and Williams stays hurt and Ward stays hurt and Ingram does well today, you scooped him, and now you have something good going forward. I think this is the part of the year, and I mentioned it a week or two ago, that the rookies, and I was talking specifically about tight ends, the rookies are going to start showing up. This is almost the midpoint. We're over a third of the way through. These rookies are going to start to pop, running backs especially. So there's rookie running backs sitting out there. You're a little short in running backs, or you got a couple questions with your starters, injuries, underperformance. Pick them up. If they stink, you get rid of them if you need something else. Otherwise, you just sit them on your bench. You let them marinate, and you see where it goes. I think he's going to get some burn today, and much like Darko said about Wandale introducing himself to the league, I think he's going to do the same today. And I mentioned in the videos, I said he's probably going to be something that you're going to see on tonight or tomorrow for waiver pickups. They're going to pick up Keontae Ingram. So just do it now. What do you got to lose? Nothing. Nothing at all.
All right. So for another team, Higgins now active. Ayuk or pick up Palmer. No Allen.
The Palmer situation, I've talked about this show after show, recorded video after recorded video. He's an absolute beast. He's an absolute stud, but he's just getting vultured by DeAndre Carter. And it's terrible to see, but it's what's happening. I'm just looking at something. And so it's a pain. Now, he's going to be playing Monday night. And we know Monday night is where guys like to make names for themselves. Going against the Broncos defense. Will the Broncos offense be able to do anything that they would need to use Palmer? Ayuk, I like Ayuk this week. I'm going against the Falcons, but he's somebody that hasn't really done anything. And I just think Higgins is just too risky in a game where I could easily see Chase being able to beat this defense with no Lattimore when they want to throw the ball. Burrow is looking to get Chase involved. They're making a concerted effort to do so. Teams are doubling and tripling him, but I don't know if the Saints will be able to do that without their top corner today. I wouldn't risk it with Higgins. It's Ayuk or Palmer to me, and I think you just have a better shot with Ayuk. But Palmer is the Monday Night Magic.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking Palmer to a certain extent.
Go with Palmer. Give yourself a shot in the last
game. And just because, I mean, Denver hasn't been moving the ball. I think Denver's going to have to move the ball on offense to keep up with this Chargers team. Palmer could hit a deep one, man. Ayuk just may not, for me, Ayuk may not be needed because they're going against Atlanta, you know. Want to wear Answers by Guest shirt around here in Florida. We appreciate that, man. That'd be awesome. All right. Is Wandale playing today? Y'all think he outshines Slayton? You had kind of talked about that already.
He is playing today. I'm not going to play him. I want to see him get through a game. You know, let's see it happen. Because he could wind up being somebody that gets hurt all the damn time. And you put him in your lineup hoping for it today. Right. I mean, Tony's got a couple issues. He's got an issue with his attitude and his personality the coaches don't like. But he also can't get healthy. He never could even last year with a different coaching staff that loved him. So I want to see him get through a game and be fine after it. I don't want him to get through the game even and then be questionable next week. I want him to get through the game, no red Q next to his name, and then we can look going forward. It's an amazing matchup. I think he'll do well, but I want to see it before I. So I don't know if he outshines Slayton, but I think he'll help Slayton. I think Wandale, whatever you want to say, is going to go right into the Sterling Shepard role. He's a little guy like that, playing out of the slot. That's where they want to use him. So Daniel Jones, we know how much he loves Sterling Shepard. I think that's what you're going to see out of Mr. Robinson.
All right. I could drop Minnesota D in the defense question league and stash DJ Dallas or Ingram instead. I'm the Walker owner, but not a Kamara owner, or stash the guesstimator. LOL.
Yeah, I would stash the guesstimator.
I agree.
I think Travis Homer, when he's active, he's going to eat a little into Dallas. Dallas, they like to use in the return game. And I do think Walker will be the workhorse. He's clearly more talented than DJ Dallas. But you've got a shot with Keontae Ingram to surpass everybody on that depth chart. He could be a 3-down back. And you're just stashing at this point. I mean, DJ Dallas, Mark Ingram, or Keontae Ingram, I would just go with Keontae Ingram. Yeah, and if you have Eno already, there you go.
Makes sense. I like it. Any other questions, guys? Remember, there is a t-shirt contest that's going on. Go and make sure that you subscribe. It was a like and comment, if I'm not mistaken, and
You gotta,
send us the guesstimator.
like all 3 of the week 6 game breakdown videos. There's 3 of them. They're all in the group. You need to PM us the guesstimator who we've mentioned now over and over. So it's not even, so that's like an easy one for you. You don't even have to watch them all, which was the point. But that's okay because we're down to the final hour before the games anyway. So watching them won't do you much good at this point. And you got to subscribe to YouTube. That's what we want to get. We're sitting at like 23 subscribers. We got 300 plus members in the group. Those numbers should be a little bit closer, I feel. So everybody uses YouTube. Just subscribe. It doesn't cost you money. You can get a free t-shirt.
All right, guys. Remember, Detroit Lions, Houston Texans, Las Vegas Raiders, and the Tennessee Titans. Guess, final thoughts, man? I guess we'll go stop it here.
Yeah, not too much. I mean, it's getting a little repetitive with the final thoughts, but each week is a little more on top of it. Plan ahead now. We mentioned this, I think, on Tuesday. I mentioned it on Answers with Guests. You have buys in week 7, more than likely. Not all teams, because I do have a team that doesn't, because I went through them all. But more than likely you do, or you got buys in week 8, or whatever, and you are going to have guys out. There's guys sitting out there that don't, and you can get them now. So if you got somebody that's just sitting on your bench, and you don't see yourself really using them, there's somebody with some more potential, grab them now. Because what's going to happen, much like the guesstimator each and every week, if you wait until waivers clear, now everybody knows their name, A. Now everybody's looking at their week 7 lineups and realizing they have buys. Not everybody does that. Some people literally play week to week. They look at their 6, waivers come, they fix their 6. They wait, 7. Oh, they look at their week 7, they fix their buys. Fix your 7s now. Grab the rookies with potential now. Grab the guys who might do something this week now. Because if for nothing else, A, if they stink, you drop them. Or B, if they do well and you don't even need them, you can trade them. And you can upgrade somewhere else. So our motto is always be a step ahead. So what I'm imploring you to do is be a week ahead, at least on your league mates.
I love it, man. Great advice. Fantasy Football's Insights Group from Outside the Box, guys. Remember, like us, follow us, subscribe everywhere and anywhere. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Patreon. Always look for those hashtags. Guess I wish you good luck and good tomorrow.
You too, sir. Good luck today, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the family. Good luck.
Deuces.